Alright, we're watching mar100, who's playing as Zarya. This is Gold 2 on PC on Eichenwalde. Handling Rein as Zarya. Hi, I just got out of a competitive game where I was Zarya versus a Rein on Eichenwalde and we lost. We were able to push payload all the way on attack, but they did the same in defense with more time and we're not able to take the first point again. How do I avoid letting Rein have space for free in the matchup? When defending as Zarya, Rein was able to walk through the main choke under the bridge with no problems, as I wasn't able to bring his shield down. However, the enemy team also had enough damage such that I couldn't sit at choke with him, as I would lose too much health. I also faced the problem where Rein would walk into me and start swinging. No matter my charge amount, I was not able to get him to back off. I felt like I wasn't able to help deal with dealing any sort of damage this game because I was always shooting a Rein shield. But anytime I tried to focus behind the shield, Rein would start swinging and I would take far too much damage to live. My plan during this game was to try and bring the Rein shield down to help our DPS. I'm worried this was a waste of time and led to the loss of the game. Other than switching to Devo, it's a section we're not going to cover. This is a recurring problem when I have to play Zarya against Rein, so any general tips are very welcome. Okay, so we're going to cover two sections of this game. Number one, we're going to cover where Zarya is working against Rein, and number two is we're going to cover when Zarya isn't working as Rein against Rein, and we're going to compare and contrast the two of them. Alright, so we're going to start on offense, which is where things are going to go well. You're going to push all the way, and capture all 3 points. Then on defense, things won't go well because you give it up very quickly. Starting from here, note, for starters, you have 65 energy, you have no bubbles. Burning the Cassidy, you get super low here, but your supports keep you alive. He pops high noon, but fortunately, your Pharah comes out of the air, ults him. Great! So we're doing well here. Honestly, the Cassidy just bailed you out. But you lose the Pharah, that's okay. Well, I mean, not okay, but you back up a little bit, that's also okay too. She goes for your Moira fades, okay, good. You do a bubble here. You bubble your Mercy, which is a good call because she was in danger. You had 80 energy, so great. 80 energy is excellent. I think the game considers anything over 65% high energy, something like that, somewhere in that ballpark. But I mean, definitely high energy. I would say, practically speaking, once you're over 40, you're in good shape, and once you're over like 75, I'm pretty sure I'm going to kill everyone in the game. Like once you're over 75, I'm in like I will solo carry this game, just keep me alive mode. In case you didn't know, your base damage per second is 90, and it goes all the way up to 170. So that is another extra 80 damage. So a quick way to think about how much damage you do is to take whatever your current number is and add it to 90. And then you can subtract 20 if you want to be like closer to it. But like looking at this, be like, oh, I do about 160 damage a second. Yeah, that's close enough, right? Just give me an idea of how fast you'll kill people. It's closer to actually 140. I wouldn't have bubbled that Pharah. There's no reason. Looking at this lineup, there's no reason to believe that anyone's going to shoot this Pharah out of the air. Because this is a Rein, this is a Moira, this is a Mercy. Who's going to shoot the Pharah? Right? Like, yeah, the Ash shooter from all over there, that's not my responsibility. I'd be very careful with bubbles. Rein charges in, he charges the cart, great, excellent. You dodge Fire Strike. Alright, you start walking forwards. You grab here, I don't agree with this grab, but the Moira, for some reason, does not fade far enough away. I don't know why she ends early. It's not like the grab sucked her in, unless she... Did she actually get pulled back in during grab or during fade? I don't think that works that way, but I have no reason why this Moira ended up back in this grab. Anyway, you bring in the Moira, great, excellent. We're not going to talk about your Zarya mechanics, by the way. It's like it's too tedious like to go through all the different Zarya mechanics. I'll probably just make a guide video on it at some point rather than having to repeat the same thing over and over again. But the short answer is you should right-click to finish people. You can follow this Mercy, but she decides to leave. Oh, no, actually kill her. Great, excellent. And then you're sitting on a cart. Honestly, you should just walk up across the bridge, but that's fine, right? Again, back in the Rein matchup. Over here, you're low on energy right now. Are very far forwards. Note that the Rein has the Moira over here, but your team is over here. You got Moira here, you got the Ashe here. Nobody else. You pop bubble for some reason. You don't get any energy out of it. Rein charges you definitely should have bubbled that. Now you bubble now. Rein does one swing at you to bait it out. Then he's going to shatter because he knows you have no bubbles, which is a good play by him. But are you going to die here? You are not, because your Moira is here, not being attacked, and it's keeping you up. And the Ashe does enough damage that he can't just keep swinging. So, you're able to burn him down. Moira attacks him in the back, and then he's going to die here. So why does he die here? Again, note, hey, their Moira is dead, respawning, and their Mercy's here, and then she falls back because she gets nervous about what's going on in the back line, which means the Rein is completely left alone here, very clearly overextended in the middle of 3 people with no support cover. He's going to die here. So things are going good for you. We're going to keep walking forwards right now. Rein's here. He's going to charge, and then you have no bubbles here, which is unfortunate. Definitely should have been a bubble to prevent the charge damage. Burning him down. Right, burn the Rein down again. Again, notice how low the Rein's getting. Notice that you're able to stay at range. Notice the fact that you have high energy. And then you're going to die here because you stay out way too overextended with no bubbles, and then you're going to die. But the Rein didn't kill you, right? Clearly, you're doing well against the Rein. So things are going well here. what do I want you to focus on? Two things. Number one, or actually three things. Number one, notice the Rein consistently overextends, right? He goes way out of position to try to chase you down, and he's going to die. That's number one. Number two, noting the positioning of his supports. Often his supports are not available, right? It's either just the Mercy, or it's neither the Mercy or the Moira, or the Moira is dead, or some combination of those things, okay? That's very, very important to note in terms of how much health that he's going to get in terms of when he's fighting you straight up. Also think about your team, like your team is going to be doing damage to him. But the last thing I really want to focus on is your lack of energy. So one of the things you said is you couldn't make the Rein back off despite whatever your energy level is. That is completely false. For the clip that I just showed you, in the vast majority of offense, you're going to be high energy. You're going to get 50 energy plus almost the whole time. Now let's watch what it looks like on defense. So I'm going to skip the first point because it's like an instant steamroll. Now we're playing on defense, okay? What's going on here? You have 0 energy, you're already missing half of a bubble, which is no good. Alright, so you're gonna come out here, what do? You pop bubble right away. So you just had 2 bubbles expire. In fact, let's go back a little bit so we know where the previous bubble was. Cassidy's here, you pop bubble, Cassidy immediately stops shooting at you, which is great. Like, that's exactly what he should do. Not great for you, great for him. Right, you go up, you pop another bubble. Okay, at this moment in time, you have 0 energy and you have 2 bubbles, you have thrown the fight. I cannot emphasize this enough. This fight is over. Like, if I did this in a game, I'd be like, yeah, I'm just leaving. I'm just going home. Like, I literally would be like, there's no way that I can possibly stop this right now with 0 energy and no bubbles. It's way too dangerous for me to stay here. I would just go in the castle and I would literally go all the way back here and play in the back of the bridge. You have no chance of staying out here. I cannot emphasize enough, if you do not have energy as Zarya, you are throwing. You cannot win the game if you do not get energy. It is crucial that you get energy. Right? Now let's analyze, why didn't your bubbles get energy? So, look at bubble number 1. Cassidy is shooting at you. Okay? Now, we're going to assume that your opponents are not fools, okay? That they have played the game of Overwatch before, and they understand how Zarya's mechanics works, and they understand the fact that you have bubbles, and that shooting the bubbles gives you energy. Cassidy is a semi-automatic shooter, right? He goes tap, 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 like that with his revolver, right? He is not someone who has a fire and forget weapon, like, for example, Junkrat or Pharah, right? He's someone who's like, hey, just instant hit scan bullets. So he goes tap, 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 tap. Oh, cool. And now he just stops shooting. Best case scenario, he shoots you one more time. One Peacekeeper shot only does 60 damage, right? So with 60 damage, that is 30% of your bubble, right? 30% gives you 12 energy. That's terrible. Using bubble to get 12 energy is terrible. And that is the best case scenario, is that he shoots you while you're bubbling. That is the best case scenario. So you're going to get somewhere between 0 and 12 energy from this Cassidy, which means this bubble was a terrible choice right now. Right? No good. That's why bubble number 1 is a failure. Number 2, you go up this Rein, he throws Fire Strike already. For the record, if you're going to bubble, that would have been the moment to do it, to try to get Fire Strike energy, which is 100, which give you half of a bubble energy, so 20 energy right there. But instead, you bubble after the Fire Strike, and what does the Reinhardt do after you bubble? He just stares at you. And now he's won. Right? Like, now the fight is over. The fight is over before it even began because you messed up both of your bubbles, and you just can't do that. It's the same thing as Winston. Is if you dive in the wrong spot and you put down bubble at the wrong time, the fight is over. It doesn't matter anything else that happens. Once you get out of like gold, right, which is the level that you're at right now, once you get to like platinum, this is an immediate throw. It just can't happen, right? Like, as soon as this occurs, it is over. It's the same thing as Reinhardt charging out of position, or Ramatra like popping Nemesis too early, or Ball like doing the awkward thing when he tries to roll in, but he doesn't actually get fireballs, he just bumps into people awkwardly or a wall. Like, these are all throws. Once you get out of gold, these are all throws. So I cannot emphasize this enough, you have to get energy. Well, how do I get energy then if there's all these people that can stop shooting me whenever possible? The short answer is make them shoot you, right? Make them shoot you, and or wait for your team to engage, because I guarantee you all 5 enemies are not going to hold all their damage just because they know you have bubbles. They're going to attack somebody and just figure out who that somebody is. So for starters, should I even be taking this fight right now at all? Well, it's 1, 2, 3 against 1, 2, 3, 4, with both of my DPS not here, and I have 0 energy. I don't really want to take this fight right now. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a good time to be like, oh, let me push in and try to do something. Because if they swarm me right now, I actually might die here, even if I use the bubbles correctly. Even with 2 supports, they could conceivably kill me here if they're all, like, coordinated and they all come after me. Where even is the last... Who's missing here? The Genji? Oh, yeah, the Genji's here. So, yeah, no, this is even worse. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 3. You shouldn't even be out here. This is crazy. Like, this is actually potentially dangerous for you. If anything, you just stay here, zap a little bit, right-click a little bit, just farm some ult charge, and then, like, go back and regroup with your team. So your timing is wrong. That's problem number 1. Because I guarantee you, if you're, for example, if your Ashe was standing right here shooting, I guarantee you everyone to shoot the Ashe, even if you had bubbles available. And then you bubble her, and then you get a ton of energy. Okay? So the timing of your fight is wrong. That's number 1. Number 2, let's imagine that all of my teammates are here, that we are fighting, okay, and this is the right moment, right, to be pushing, which is a lot of conditions here that have to be true already. What you do here is I walk forwards, and I just start beaming the Mercy down, okay? And then the Cassidy is going to try to, like, left-click me, but he's not going to do it so frequently because he's afraid of bubble. And I'm going to keep beaming the Mercy, and the Mercy's either going to have to retreat around the corner, or the Mercy's going to fly this way. If she flies back in, then I keep beaming the Mercy until I kill her. Even with 0 energy, I do 90 damage a second, which means I can kill a 200 health hero in about 2.5 seconds. So the Mercy's going to die here unless she leaves. Most likely scenario, the Mercy simply just walks away because she has plenty of time and goes behind cover. You know who that leaves? The Cassidy. At that point, I just beam and kill the Cassidy because he's going to roll once. He's not going to have nearly enough time to get all the way over here, and I'm going to keep beaming him until I kill him. Do I kill him? Do I actually kill him? Probably not, right? Most likely a support or the Ride or somebody comes out to save him. But that's fine. I guarantee you, once the Cassidy realizes the Mercy is gone and you're point blank in his face, he is going to fan, right? He's going to fan, he's going to throw a grenade, he's going to try shooting you because he's going to get scared. And that is when you pop bubble. Not right now on the approach where the Cassidy is in no danger. You pop it when you're here and the Cassidy's like, oh god, I am going to die. That's when you would pop it. Okay? In this scenario against the Rein, I can't do anything right now. I have 0 energy. Let's say I have 0 energy, I have 2 bubbles. That's most likely the scenario, is that none of these things happen. I have 0 energy, 2 bubbles, my DPS are on high ground, I just play slow. Alright, save the bubble charges, just keep zapping the Rein, right, and play very, very slow here. Because the cart has just reached this point. I can't play as Zarya on my own pace against Reinhardt. I'm playing on defense, I don't have the choice of being able to set the timing, right, the tempo of the game. I just play slow. And it might seem silly just beaming his shield down for 90 damage a second, but like, you don't necessarily have a lot of other options, right? Just keep beaming. Like, the Reinhardt's eventually going to do something. The Genji's going to do something. The Cassidy's going to do something. Your team is going to do something, and then you'll have opportunities to bubble, right? But just wasting bubbles out here is really, really, really bad, right? So again, out here, what's going on? I have almost 2 bubbles again. You're holding. I understand this bubble. I think this is a reasonable bubble, but it's not going to get you any energy, but that's not really your fault. So right now, when you dropped, I dropped with 1 bubble, I am overextended. I am too far away from cover right now. If they aggress on me, I only have 1 bubble to save my life, and then I'm gonna die. Because this is actually a really bad space to fight as defense typically, unless you're going to be able to out-brawl the enemy. And you cannot out-brawl a Rein, certainly not with 0 energy, right? The Rein's gonna walk in, and then you're gonna be in big time trouble, right? He charges in, and notice right now, okay, Pharah's here, Mercy's here. This is when you have saved those 2 bubbles for, okay? This moment right now where the Mercy is being attacked, right? Or the Pharah is being attacked, or you're being attacked, right? That's when you would bubble right now to potentially get energy. Fortunately, or unfortunately, none of your teammates get hit, but you should have a second bubble right now because that's the first bubble that I unequivocally would have popped. Well, I would have popped on the Pharah, right? But I think do you pop an extra here since the Pharah ult? When was the Pharah ulti? Pharah ulti is going to be the second. So there's Pharah ulti, right? So you pop bubble there. Okay, so you're 1 bubble right now. I wouldn't have dropped. I would stay high ground right now. Just keep beaming, 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 beaming. Right, chill. The warrior dies here. That's crazy. How the heck does this happen? Oh, she eats the fire strike. Yeah, I don't think you could have done much about that. So warrior's going to die here. And I would be like, you know what? I definitely wouldn't be standing here. I would have bubbled one of these 2. And at this point, I'd be like, okay, well, this is not going to work out. I would probably just suicide right now, honestly. Like, I don't think functionally, you could have done anything a lot differently here. I think you could have made different decisions, but in this scenario, it actually wouldn't have made much of a difference. Which doesn't mean that you shouldn't have made better decisions. I'm saying in this scenario, I think some unlucky things happen to come together. But that's okay, because we have plenty more game footage to go through. So we're coming out right now. Okay, blades popped. What do we do? Pretty much nothing. The Genji dashes into you, and you don't pop bubble right now. I don't know why you didn't pop bubble right now. I just heard a bladed Genji pop into me. I don't know why I'm not popping bubble. I guess maybe we're just a little slow on it. But you get 40 energy, so that's great. Alright, so we got 40 energy to work with. Your Pharaoh is going to die. You briefly see her. I don't think you can really get a bubble off here. Let's look at the situation. It is a 1-2 on 1, 2, 3, 4 situation. So you're fighting a 2 on 4. Why are you walking forwards? This has nothing to do with Zarya, right? For the record, this is 3 on 4 now. You need to play really slow right now. Really, really, really slow. And ideally, you actually want to play both sides of the point. That way you can split up the Rein. Because if you're playing the same side, the Rein's going to push into you, and he's going to kill all 3 of you. Versus if you play the opposite side, the Rein has to make choice to expose his back to you or to your friends. And at least one side of you will be able to actually damage him right now. So you definitely should not be playing the same side. I understand the Moira's here, but like you also have Mega and you have Bubbles. I don't see a reason why I would expect to die right now. But the most important thing here is that you got to play time. You need time for your teammates to respawn. Your team has an enormous short spawn advantage here, so all you got to do is stall out and you win this fight. So Rein's going to charge right now. It's the right idea to try to grab him. Unfortunately, that is not going to work. But a big problem here is, again, you're playing on the same side as your team, which means like no one is here to do anything. Again, if you've been on the opposite side, right? If Rein came over here and you, let's say, grabbed him, then your Ashe could kill him. Or maybe just hold bubble and let him attack you, right? Hold bubble, let him attack you, walk in, get the Mega, come back here, and just fight again, right? But with that grab, no one was going to be able to use that grab to do anything, right? You see your timing is way off in terms of when you're fighting. This is not a Zarya versus Rein problem. This is a tank problem because you just don't know when you're supposed to be fighting. You have no chance at winning this fight. Like, even if we gave you 100 energy right now and 2 bubbles, you cannot win this fight. This is a 2 on 4, right? There's no way you're winning this fight. That's like your biggest problem here is like you're not able to carry energy over from prior fights to snowball into the next fight. You're fighting at the wrong times with not enough people out, and then you pop a grab here that's going to do absolutely nothing. You should just save the grab for the next fight. Okay, so from there, you finally get some energy. I don't know why you would go high ground here. There's no world where going high ground is the right call in this situation. Like, if you pop grab, you're like, okay, this isn't going to work, just go back inside. As Zarya, play extremely selfishly. Sacrifice whatever teammates you need to stay alive. Okay? I cannot emphasize this enough as well. Zarya is the most selfish, arguably the most selfish character in the game. You should like literally throw your whole team under the bus if it means that you stay alive with energy. All right? Very, very, very important. Let your team die to save energy. So you coming out here means now you're in big trouble. You only have 1 bubble left. Walk in a straight line. You pop bubble right away. They're still chasing. You turn around there instead of... You could have just made it away right now. So you see? You're good right now. Just keep walking away and you're good because the Rein's chasing your Mercy. But you see you walk back in, try to kill the Cassidy, and now you're taking damage, and now you're going to lose the 80 energy that we've been waiting for a minute and a half to get. This is a throw. This is really bad, and now you have no energy to do anything. So Rein's going to charge in. This is a really good charge by the Rein. I think that in this situation, the number one thing is just don't get charged. Like, you need to be aware. The Rein's charging, so you have to decide right now, okay, what do I want to do here? You need to have the audio awareness to be like, okay, the Rein is charging, and the visual awareness to see where the Rein's coming. He's drifting to the right, so go to the left. Alternatively, you can also right-click the ground to move him slightly off course. But a general rule for Reinhardt is left shoulder vacuums, right? Left shoulder charges, pins, right shoulder bumps. So if you have a choice between going for his left shoulder or his right shoulder, go for his right shoulder. So dead on, go left, not right, is a rule that I heard a long time ago. I don't know how much truth there is to it. In my experience, I think it generally aligns, but I cannot like say it conclusively. But regardless, this is a really good play by him, right? Now you're in a ton of trouble. You pop bubble. In this situation, right-click the ground repeatedly in front of him, which will slow him down. Eventually, it will create enough space for you to get out of range. When you start at point blank like that, you're in big trouble, but like if it's close, you can get out of range pretty quickly, actually. All right. You stay alive, your team mostly pops ultimates, keeps you alive, great. So let's skip forward here. All right, you have 2 bubbles. Yep, so you're not bubbling here, which is good. I would also look up and be like, okay, like what else are they shooting at? Because the Cassie's shooting at something. He charges, you bubble, okay, that's fine. I mean, Rein's doing a really good job not attacking your bubbles. You're poking the Cassie, this is good, right? Yep, see, that's a good example, right? It's like he throws you a grenade, yeah, pop bubble here, because now you can actually get energy. But now you have no bubbles, right? Now you're just getting your first one. Play safer right now, because you have to be very worried about whatever could be coming up next. So, like this. Okay? In this situation where I'm far away from cover, you always need to track how far away am I from cover. This corner is probably not safe because you can still see the enemy. Your next piece of cover is this corner right here. Maybe this corner, but realistically this corner most of the time. That is a long way. You are 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds away from cover. That is a very far away. And you can't be playing this far up with only 1 bubble. Because this happens, now you pop bubble. You should have popped bubble. Yep, then you pop bubble, and they're going to get gunned down, especially once you realize there was a bastion. So this is just a mistake on your part, just being overextended. Okay, so from there, you're going to play D.Va, and it's going to be a disaster from there. What do I want to get across to you? Number 1 is you need to be able to track the game state. Are we up? Are we down? Where should we be playing? Should I be pushing? Should I be falling back? Etc. I think your core aiming tracking is actually pretty good. I watched the rest of the replay. I think it's fine. It's certainly better than gold. I don't think that your aim is an issue and it's not holding you back. I think your issue is more along the lines of number 1, where should I be? When and where should I be fighting? Number 2, how do I actually get energy? And it's hard because it's such a situational game and it's like dependent on a lot of different factors. But you want to bubble people who are definitely going to take damage, right? And if you don't bubble people who are definitely going to take damage, you have to figure out, are we going to win if I don't bubble at all? Which might be the case. Like if your team just outpokes theirs, you might win simply by staying alive, right? But generally speaking, they're going to have to fight somebody, and then bubbling that target is going to be helpful. There are opportunities for you to walk forwards and try to bait bubbles, bait energy out. I think that is a dangerous play. It works sometimes, but not other times. And there are way too many scenarios for me to like talk through that situation. I will link in the additional resources a game where I played against Reinhardt as well. It's going to be offense, just like the beginning of your game, which is unfortunate because I wish I had one for defense. But a huge part about it is just going to be having patience and understanding, am I actually going to get value from this bubble or not? Because if I don't get energy, I'm throwing and you're super screwed. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Hopefully this is helpful.